So before you buy a road bike, things you should know. Things you should know. What that was?
I don't know what that was.
I think you should know what's the biggest question now, which is working in the bike industry for many years, sold a lot of bikes, and I've got a bike buyer's guide. If you go down the description below, I'll plug my little ebook there. It's a bike buyer's guide, updated all the time. It's been updated recently for 2017 for the models. What sort of riding do you want to do? You know, before you buy a road bike, go, what do I want to do? Do I just want to ride road? Do I want to ride gravel? Do I want to ride cobbles? Do I want to commute on it? Is it going to be ridden in wet weather? You know, is weight important? Am I going to go for every second on Strava? What's my budget? If I smash the frame because it was carbon lightweight and it falls over the cafe and gets cracked in half, do I have enough money or insurance to cover that? So these are all the questions you want to ask yourself. You know, does weight really matter? Does a kilo matter to me on the bike? A kilo can cost you a few $1,000s. There's the questions you want to ask yourself. The first one is, what sort of riding do you want to do? What sort of riding do you want to do? Alright? What do you want to do? Yeah, I'll cover all these questions in my ebook, During the Rider's Lean Body Bible. It's the best bike buyer's guide. It's the best cycling book ever written. I know because I've read them all the good ones anyway. And I've never had a driver's license. I'm 40 in a couple of months, so I've got a lot of experience. I've ridden over probably over 400,000 Ks as a vegan, probably 500,000 Ks in my cycling lifetime. 500,000 kilometers almost. So I know what I'm talking about. The biggest mistake is going to a bike shop and buying what you like the look of, but it doesn't really fit your riding style. Maybe you like an aero bike. You know, maybe you go for a giant propel or a Specialized Venge, and then you want to go and ride gravel rides on it, so you try and put some fatter tyres on there and you can't fit them in the fork or the frame. And you're like, oh. Or maybe you want to run fenders because you're going to do some epic touring or commuting, and you realise that there's not much clearance there. So you want to ask these things, what sort of riding do you want to do? Is it for fitness? Is it for racing? If it's for racing, you want the lightest bike possible, really. But understand that a light bike is very, very fragile. And if your bike's landing at the cafe or the shop and just falls over and you've got carbon handlebars, you probably should chuck those carbon handlebars in the bin. Especially if you're a rider over 60, 70 kilos. Especially if you're torquing those bars. If those carbon bars fall over at the coffee shop, they should go in the bin. Every single bike manufacturer will agree with me on that. So carbon bars I don't recommend unless you have a lot of experience or you're a lightweight rider and you can really look after them. But carbon bikes can be repaired. If you crack a carbon frame, you can repair it, so that is a positive. Now, I don't recommend carbon because it is very fragile, and if you're a noob or you haven't had many crashes, you're going to have your crashes. And carbon bike, you're going to drop them. You're just going to drop it. You know, you're leaning against the pole and it falls over. I've seen so many carbon bikes crack just from falling over or in crashes and bunches or races or whatever. You know, it's good for the bike industry because people buy new bikes because they just crack like that. And most people don't get a carbon bike fixed. They just buy a new one on insurance or whatever. So alloy is what I recommend. Alloy is the best material for bikes because it's very light and it can be molded to be quite comfortable. But here's the honest thing. Comfort is more determined on your tyre choice, your tyre pressure. So if you're running 28mm tyres at 60, 80 psi, they're still very fast. Not fast enough to be racing Div 1, not fast enough for every second on Strava on a tight segment, but they're very comfortable. 28mm tyres at 60 to 80 psi really, really roll well. And if you go to a website called bicyclerollingresistance.com, it's got all the wattages and everything, pressures, and it's a really great website and it's free information. So I would recommend a bike that, I don't know what bike you want though. I can give you recommendations and I do in my ebook, but I've got all the questions. What sort of bike do you want? Is it for fitness? Is it for gravel? Is it for touring, adventure? If I could think of one bike, let's just make an assumption that you're out there, you just go, Harley, I want to get a road bike, I want to tour on it, I want to race on it, I want to commute on it. The best bike I can think of, that's UCI legal at the moment, would be a Trek 1.1, because you can put racks on it, you can put fenders on it, you can put mountain bike cranks on it, good point, and because it has a band clamp front derailleur so you can lower that down. It's not a braze-on mount. So, you know, so the Trek 1.1, the Trek 1 series would be the best bike on the market at the moment. And it's because it's international. It's international product. So if you're in Slovakia or Santiago, Chile, or fucking Australia, you can get a Trek 1 series. So that's a good one. And I'm not sponsored by Trek or Giant or anyone. That's my recommendations there. So watch this before you buy a road bike is the title of the video. Ask yourself, what sort of riding do I want to do? You know, and do you want to do epic climbing? Then I would recommend mountain bike cranks. Do you want to race at a high level? Then I'd recommend EPO and standard crank set. You know, maybe a compact 5011. If you want to race crits, you don't need more than 5011. You don't need more than 5011. But that's a whole nother topic. But I would recommend mountain bike cranks for epic shit, Everesting and stuff like that. I've never been dropped on a flat ride with mountain bike cranks ever. But then again, people are riding with weren't that fit. If you're riding with Div 1 riders, yeah, you need standard crank set 50 or 5011. 5011 will be sufficient unless you're doing racing downhill. But that's no one. How many people are really going to do that? How many people are really going to race at the top level when they go and walk into a bike shop? They're not. So I would recommend start mountain bike cranks, start on the road bike, Trek 1.1 and go from there.